President-elect appoints RFK to head HHS, Human Health Services. I think this should be celebrated, but of course, you know it's going to come with some kind of pushback. But it's going to come with some kind of pushback. But let's get into this video, and we're going to give our thoughts on it as we go through the video. Let's go.
I'm thrilled to announce Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services. For too long, Americans have been crushed by the industrial food complex and drug companies who have engaged in deception, misinformation, and disinformation when it comes to public health. The safety and health of all Americans is the most important role of any administration, and the HHS will play a big role in helping to ensure that everybody will be protected from harmful chemicals, pollutants, pesticides, pharmaceutical products, and food additives that have been contributing to the overwhelming health crisis in this country.
You know, for years, I used to always hear people say, "You're not eating real food." I'm like, what do you mean we're not eating real food? You go in the grocery store, you see the aisles full of food. You're like, I'm looking at the food, but not realizing that was back then. That was a while back. I've educated myself since then. But you realize, man, no wonder why we got all these health problems. No wonder why we're overweight, we're sick. But I'm glad he's doing something about it. But of course, like I said earlier, it's going to come with some pushback. But we're going to try to get into it and see why there's such a pushback. But let's get into the next one, next clip. Let's see here. Where we at? If I do that one.
Back. Robert Kennedy Jr. as the head of HHS has been one of the most outspoken anti-vaccine conspiracy theorists and has falsely spread conspiracy theories about the safety of vaccines.
No, notice the language that they're using. Notice the language. Conspiracy theory. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the CIA came out with that term, conspiracy theory. Anytime someone was close on their trail, they'll call them a conspiracy theory. I may have it wrong, but I may have it right. I'm not exactly sure. But the word conspiracy theory is thrown in there to make them look crazy. You get what I'm saying? Make them look unhinged. So just listen to the wording that they use. They either say anti-something or anti, either anti-vax or whatever, or conspiracy theory or quack. They'll give them some kind of name to throw you off so you can look at them funny. Go ahead.
He ran as a Democrat for president. Then
all right, let's into that clip. All right, let's head to the next clip. All right.
Kennedy Jr. now tapped to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. We asked a local public health expert how this could affect Americans.
I think the thing that goes through most folks in public health mind is fear. We do a lot of work in public health that is evidence-based and based in data and good science.
Kennedy is the founder of an anti-vaccine group called Children's Defense Fund and has spent years promoting debunked medical claims and anti-vaccine rhetoric. He told NBC News this last week.
I'm not going to take away anybody's vaccines. I've never been anti-vaccine.
But in that same interview, he also questioned the effectiveness of the COVID vaccine.
You know what's wrong with that? He plainly says he's not against no vaccine. His main issue is as long as it works and it doesn't have no harmful side effects. That's his whole issue. But they won't tell you that. They'll just keep pushing, oh, he's anti-vax, anti-vax. Oh, parents, hide your kids. Oh, my kids won't be able to go to school. You know, all this fear-mongering. Enough of this foolishness. It's just fear, and they push propaganda to get you to fall right in line. They'll pump your kids full of chemicals. Your body is not made up of chemicals. Your body is made up of vitamins and whatever, minerals, stuff like that. Not chemicals. This is why we have such a reaction to this medicine that they give us, because it's chemical based. We're trying to introduce chemicals into something that's natural. This is why we have so many problems. This is why every time you take a drug, it have a side effect. Your body's rejecting it. Go ahead.
They were saying you need to take this vaccine in order to protect grandma. I knew in May of 2020 that the vaccines were not going to protect against transmission because I was actually reading the monkey studies.
The COVID vaccine.
Now, how many of us read the monkey studies? I didn't. We just know they came out with the vaccine. Hey, this is the vaccine. Take it. It's safe. It's safe for everybody. You can go around grandma. You can go around your family members. You won't catch it. That was the first lie they made. But did anyone get in trouble? Of course not. No one got in trouble for it. No one. We just ignored it. This is the problem with the health system. It's a major problem. It needs to be overhauled.
Had to go through clinical trials and meet FDA safety standards before being approved. A study by the World Health Organization in January found the vaccine likely saved more than 1.4 million lives in Europe. Professor Celeste Davis says in the coming years, education will be key.
There's going to be a lot of public education about things that actually work, and trying to work against some of these bad messages that are coming out. We already saw what that looked like during COVID, and it's really hard. Public health is already underfunded, especially at our local and state levels.
Kennedy also pledged last week to replace 600 employees at the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, here in Bethesda.
I want y'all to hear what she just said. I'm gonna rewind it right quick. Let me see. I want y'all to hear what she just said. There's a very important part in there that she pretty much let the cat out the bag. I'm gonna go back. I'm seeking y'all catch it. I can't remember. Let me see. I think it's here.
Out. We already saw what that looked like during COVID, and it's really hard. Public health is already underfunded, especially at our local and state levels.
Now, did you just hear what she said? They are already underfunded. I was once told, if you ever want to get to the bottom of something, follow the money. If you follow the money, you will see why certain things are in place. And what she just said, they're already underfunded. So they take what it is, these pharmaceutical companies, these vaccine makers, they pay them to do a study, not her specifically, but I'm just saying in general. They pay these companies to do a study. And of course, if I'm paying you to do a study of something that I produce, I expect you to do good because I'm giving you good money. So I expect you to write a good report. I expect you to say that this is safe and effective. I expect you to make my product look good. This is why all of these medical places that's funded by pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that, or big food or whatever, sugar, whoever it is, I don't think they should be allowed to take funding from those corporations. Because I think that's the problem right there. Because if I take money from someone, I can't badmouth them while taking their money. No, they're gonna cut that money short. And that's the problem. This is why I said she let the cat out the bag when she said they're underfunded. So they don't want to lose money, so they're willing, which I believe they're willing to carry this lie on, even at the cost of people's lives. They don't care. As long as that money's right, they don't care what happened. But I'm so glad that Trump put RFK, the head of HHS, which is no guarantee because he still got to go through Senate confirmation. So if you really want to see who are in the pockets of big pharma or big food, sugar, big sugar, whatever you want to call it. Watch what's going on during the Senate confirmation. Watch. I don't know what's going to happen, but I got a feeling some of our members of the Senate are going to get exposed. That's just my take on it.
Kennedy also pledged last week to replace 600 employees at the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, here in Bethesda. The director of NIH speaking this week about the agency's work on rare diseases.
NIH has a long-standing commitment to research that helps improve the health and well-being of children, teens, and young adults. Science is magic that works.
Kennedy's appointment isn't a done deal just yet. He'll have to go before the Senate for a confirmation hearing. Amy Cho, News 4.
Well, we could just only hope. Our only hope is that he can get through the Senate confirmation some kind of way. I'm being honest, these are powerful people he's going up against. These corporations, these are giants, these are titans. You know, but with the Lord on our side, well, yes, yeah, anything is possible with the Lord on your side, right? But he's going up against some powerful people, and I'm talking about people that can, dare I say, they probably can make you disappear, allegedly. I don't know. We're going to have to see, you know. But one thing about it, though, even if you don't want to take these chemicals that they're trying to force upon the kids and adults, also, let's be honest, I wonder, do these people, seriously, I wonder, do they believe in God? I am really, really curious, do they believe in God? Because the Bible let us know he gave us herbs and the leaves, the healing for the nations and all that stuff. He gave us stuff that's in the Bible, cumin, cinnamon, you know, all kind of herbs and stuff. That's good for the body. That's natural remedies, natural stuff to help your body. The stuff your body's made up of, these minerals and stuff like that. Natural minerals that come from the earth, which we get from our plants when we plant the food. But they put all these chemicals in the ground. All of our minerals are depleted out of our soil. I got one more video I want to show you. I guess it was on, it's an RFK video. Let's go to it.
And his health plan.
We still don't know the entire parade of clowns, degenerates, and in-laws that Trump will have running this country, but one guy we know will have a major role is RFK Jr. This whale decapitating, bear dumping, walking, talking worm cemetery is who Donald Trump wants to put in charge of our nation's health. Here he is last week.
Robert F. Kennedy cares more about human beings and health and the environment than anybody. I'm going to let him go wild on health. I'm going to let him go wild on the food. I'm going to let him go wild on medicines.
Oh, good. Because that's exactly how I like my medicine. Wild. It's just like the directions on the pill bottle say, go crazy balls every 2 to 4 hours with food. And, right? Just freak out. Freak out twice a day. And RFK Jr. is ready for his wilding. Here he is yesterday talking about food deregulation.
Why do we have Fruit Loops in this country that have 18 or 19 ingredients, and you go to Canada and it's got 2 or 3?
Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. There were no worms lining up to eat portions of my brain, but I went to the Kellogg's Canada website, and it turns out the Canadian Fruit Loops actually have 26 ingredients.
Okay. All right. I'm assuming. Nah, let me let this play. I don't want to assume. Let me let it play.
And that doesn't even count the gravy, which Canadians use to make fruitine.
Despite not getting the exact number of ingredients right, RFK is specifically talking about the food coloring and other damaging chemicals used in children's food. Here's the list of ingredients of the United States versus Canada's box of Fruit Loops. Here's the US versus Germany. If you notice the colors, the US box looks a lot better, but that's because
I'm just looking at it right quick. Hold on. You cereal, flour, wheat, oats, corn, sugar, glucose, syrup, salt, wheat, vegetable, carrot, cherries. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference in these ingredients. But one thing, I don't know if you guys see my cursor or not. This is the US version, right? This is what Europe. He said Europe, right? But anyways, only bad ingredients I see. Well, they all bad ingredients, but this right here, that natural flavors. What is natural flavors? But go ahead.
they use harmful chemicals that have shown to have negative effects on children, but I'll let RFK himself explain that.
Restaurants that serve contaminated food are fined or shut down. But when it's the government that approves the poisons in our food, a few people get very, very rich, and the toxins end up in every supermarket aisle. The ingredients include a lot of poisons, including a harmful yellow dye called tartrazine, or yellow dye number 5. What you may not know is that this dye was originally made out of the sludge that's left over when you turn coal into coke for blast furnaces. And I've actually sued many big industries for legacy contamination of coal tar all around the country because it's so toxic and it's so harmful to the environment and human beings. Didn't know back then that this yellow dye, tartrazine, causes tumors, asthma, developmental delays, neurological damage, ADD, ADHD. Well, we know it now. We've known this for decades. That's why tartrazine is heavily restricted in other countries. In some countries, foods with tartrazine have a warning label that it may cause ADHD in children. I've been picking on tartrazine today, but that's just one of at least 100 chemical poisons that our health agencies allow into our children's food. If we took all of these chemicals out, our nation would get healthier immediately.
Of course, Stephen Colbert just hates Donald Trump, so no matter what, he's going to make baseless attacks on anyone in his campaign, and it's also no surprise since RFK will be cracking down on Big Pharma, specifically Pfizer, and Colbert is bought and paid for by Pfizer. That would explain why he's so against getting rid of these harmful chemicals from children's food, and instead of focusing on the benefits that RFK's plan will have, he would rather attack him and distract from the main topic. He's a typical corporate leftist sellout whose only purpose is to make his donors happy. Had Donald Trump and RFK been supporting children changing their own gender, he would have been on board. But since it's about protecting children's health, he doesn't care.
Well, folks, I mean, there you have it. So you figure everybody would be on board with this because, hey, he's all about healthy living. He's going to make sure my kids are safe and take effective vaccine shots and eat some real food for once in their life. But no, everyone is not on board. Of course, you see Colbert, he's making a joke about it. All because why? Because he hates Trump. So anybody that he put into a cabinet position, they're going to ridicule. I don't care how silly they sound. They're going to do it anyway because why? They hate one person. So because of your hatred for this person, you want to allow everybody to be sick, including yourself, dummy. And first thing they attack, oh, he shouldn't be appointed to that position. He know nothing about health. He got a law degree. Okay. Who's the head of the HHS now? Let me see. Hang on one second, guys. Let's see. Cool. Well, this is a message from the secretary. Hang on, I'm coming, guys. Let's see. Let me start it over. Well, anyway, hang on. Now, this is okay. This is the Assistant Secretary for Health, Dr. Rachel. And if I'm not mistaken, this person is a trans. I think this person is trans. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, this person is trans. That's not who I'm looking for. Hang on. Let me go to Google. Let's see here. You get out of there. Oh yeah. You know, I'm not even gonna bore you guys with this. Let me get out. Let me get out of this. But if I'm not mistaken, the guy that's in charge, I can't remember his name, but I think he have a law degree as well, just like RFK. But yet there was nothing said about that. But you guys say it's okay for kids to consume these chemicals, these beta block, whatever they call them during all these stuff to stop them from to slow down their puberty blockers. That's the name of it. So that's safe. But yet these are people that's in charge of the human health services. But yet they approve stuff like that. This is what I mean when I say when you're taking money from these industries, from these corporations, you can never get nothing real done. And that's our biggest issue. But if you want true health, put your faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. That's the only time you're gonna get true health because He given us natural resources on this earth to heal our bodies. But you wouldn't know it because they bury everything. But if you notice in all these drugs and stuff that they use some of the natural stuff inside of it because that's where the actual healing's at. But they add chemicals on there to help speed it up or that make your body react differently, whatever they do to it. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. But I don't understand why they add all these chemicals in there. And why does pretty much almost every medication have a side effect? This is why we're on 10 to 15, 20 prescriptions because you got to take a drug for this. You got to take another drug to counter that side effect. You got to take another drug to counter that side effect. The list just goes on and on and on and on. But you guys let me know what you think. I appreciate you guys. I love you. See you next video. Peace.